Hello everybody and welcome to Vicky Patterson, The Secret To. This week I am joined by DJ, reality star, and my favourite rep. It's Jordan Davies, everybody!
Hey! What an intro that was.
Did you laugh? Right, honestly, I get everything else in the podcast, like my producer writes my questions, she's so great, like my technical staff do all that, like everybody comes together, but that's the only bit that I can take credit for, and I always love it when the guests love it, because I think, yes, that was me.
Yeah, it made me feel very, very loved and special. I appreciate it.
Oh no, well you are. You're loved and special, and I'm so grateful you're here. Right, so first things first, I hear you've been together with your bird 4 years now.
Yeah, so me and Isabel, so we've been together like over 4 years now, and we've just got a place together in the country. So if I look a bit grainy, that's why, because my signal. We've only recently moved here, and it's a bit of a nightmare. But no, yeah, so 4 years now, going strong still.
So me and Ercan have been together about 4 years as well, and I remember, didn't we all meet in Magaluf or something? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I think you had a meet and greet there. And I think that was when you and Eric just started. I think you just got together recently, I think.
Yeah.
But I think this time you met Isabel. And yeah, it's just a bit of a fun and random night. But no, it was nice to see, because you just started a relationship. Me and Isabel were quite new as well. So yeah, it was just when those random ones that turned into a brilliant night.
And I just remember thinking she was like the most gorgeous, but like also the kindest girl. Like, and you don't often get those two together. Like, she had such a lovely energy. So I'm so happy you're still together.
Yeah, well, Isabel said the exact same about you. She was like, I didn't expect Vicky to be this friendly and this nice, because obviously, you know, with your status, she was just like, and she'd only just recently started. She was like, I can't believe how friendly she was. Like, she was just so amazing. So yeah, credit to you as well.
You were so smooth there saying my status, because I really thought you were just going to say like, oh, because you know you were a bitch on the telly. Oh, well, anyway, I'm so happy. And where have you moved to? Obviously, don't give us postcodes then out, but
No.
are you Welsh? Like, are you in Wales, or are you more where Izzy's from? What's the crack?
Yeah, so well, I was living with Izzy during COVID, so I moved in with her, but now we've moved back to Wales. So obviously, as a Welshman, I love it here, but like I said, because we're living in the country, it's like, you know, we've got like loads of land, and it's just a complete contrast to, you know, my DJ life. So when I'm DJing, it's like loads of clubs, crazy all over the place, and then I come home and it's just silent, just in the country, nothing going on. So yeah, it's a bit mad.
Do you love that though? Because what you're describing sounds like my idea of heaven. Like, I have this dream of my not so distant future just being middle of nowhere, fucking loads of dogs, barely any people, like zero traffic. Like, I have to do my food shop a week in advance on Ocado, otherwise it doesn't arrive. Like, that is like isolation is just what I am completely striving for, the older and more miserable I become. But are you struggling with that? Would you prefer it to be a little bit less remote, or are you just proper embracing it?
No, do you know, it's lovely, because, you know, you've got so much peace and quiet, and like I said, we've got 4 dogs, well, 4 chihuahuas anyway, so it's a bit crazy, but yeah, really, really manly dog, you know, like really cool when you walk
I
in.
didn't have you pegged as a chihuahua man, babe.
Well, well, you know, the thing is, because they're so small, they're just easy to look after, like, but they're a bit nuts, but yeah, it's just lovely living here, because like I said, it's so peaceful, and you know, like we live behind a forest, so if we want to go for a walk, we just walk out the back door and then we're in a forest. So, you know, it can be a bit scary at night when, you know, there's no one around you in the middle of nowhere. But no, it's lovely. Like I said, it's just the sunsets, like we're on top of a mountain. So the sunsets, you know, it's just stunning. So, yeah.
Fucking hell, Jordan. This literally sounds amazing. So was it a oh god, I'm so obsessed with house stuff, and I'm desperate to talk to you about like the new series of Weekender and everything and get into your work. But I am just showing how much of it, like, I'm so in my 30s. This is very interesting to me. This is like my porn. So are you doing the house up? Is it like, was it an old cottage vibe, or what's the crack?
Yeah, so it's like a big like 6-bedroom house, but we've got an outbuilding that we're converting into like another 3-bedroom property, and like we've got a tennis court. I'm building a studio at the minute.
Fuck off! I'm moving to Wales. This is so good.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. Like if we put like a little camping site here, it'd be brilliant. So yeah, but there's a lot. Like I said, we've got like 5 acres of land. There's a lot going on. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Oh my god, I am so jealous. But then, having said that, right, we bought a brand new property and we're dead close to like Epping Forest and stuff, you know, we thought of the dogs and everything. And I'm still close to London for work, but this was my first step to getting that like peaceful life that I probably like crave. But we bought it pretty much brand new, so we didn't have to do much. But I've still found things to do, mate. You know, like I want the garage made into a cinema room, like you want the garden landscape, like walk-in wardrobes here, there. And 2 years down the line, we're still doing it. And I'm still habitually very stressed with it all. And I just need to know if I'm mental or if you're stressed with it as well. You don't strike me as the person who gets stressed at anything, though.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when we found the property, we obviously went, oh, this is the one. But then when we moved in, it's like all the little things that you discover that you wouldn't see just from going to view it. And, you know, there's like, we've had to just do so much stuff, but it's good fun. And like I said, when I'm not DJing, it's always, I've always got something else to do or projects. And so putting your own stamp on it is just amazing. Obviously, I love it.
You're being kept busy is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you know, I don't need the gym. I don't need the gym anymore because there's no gym near me. But this is my gym workout now.
Are you quite handy then?
Well, you know, my hands don't look it, but I've got, you know, I've been doing quite a lot and just learning along the way. YouTube's been my best friend. I've become a plumber. I've become, you know, a builder. Like, it's just, yeah, it's good fun, but I love it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Master of fuck all.
Honestly, mate, I swear, like, Ercan is so handsome and I love him so much, right? But he is about as much use as a fucking chocolate watch at doing absolutely anything in terms of like house stuff. I remember, and it was in lockdown actually, and we lived in a flat in Brentwood that I had, and it was lovely, and like it was fully furnished. When I moved in, I had a designer, blah blah, and it was just when we moved back to it, I needed one mirror hanging. That was it. And this mirror hung in just lay in the hallway for 4 months until lockdown was over. And his brother, who's like a plumber, electrician that does a bit of everything, could come and do it. I'm not even joking you. I know. Wow. And like, honestly, he used to be a project manager on a building site as well, you know.
No way. That's insane. Yeah.
I just don't know what he was. I don't know how. I mean, I think his ex-girlfriend got like it was his dad who gave him the job. His ex-girlfriend's dad. So talk about shagging his way to the top, eh? Oh, bless him. But it's good to know that you're getting somewhere. You're doing bits yourself. I'm really excited for you both. You're so grown up, Jordan. When did this happen? Know.
But I'm still doing Weekender. That's the weird thing. I'm still on the same show that I was a decade ago. They just can't get rid of me. It's like, it's
how do you feel about that though? Are you like buzzing like, yes, I am like a hermit on this show, like a barnacle, you're not getting rid of me, or you're like, oh my God, I'm back again? How do you feel? Are you just so excited by the new series? Or are you thinking, shit, I'm getting a bit old?
Well, the thing is, because obviously, because I've done it for so long, and every year they're like, oh, right, we don't know if we're going to take you. And then it comes a month before, and they ring me, they're like, right, Jordan, so we want you back again. And I'm like, well, I can't say no, but it's like, I've been fired, I've been sacked, and it's back. And every series, it's like, oh, I'm back again, I'm back again, I'm back again. But it's just, it's an amazing show because, like, unlike, you know, like X on the Beach stuff, which we've done, where, like, you're stuck in a villa, you don't really come out. With this one, you're literally, like, you know, Ibiza, Magaluf, Kavos, you're abroad on holiday for a month, getting paid for it, having fun with guests. And, yeah, it's an amazing show. And like I said, you can drink. This one you couldn't really drink much, but before you could drink as much as you wanted. So it was actually like a dream show, and it's all about having fun on that show. So it's not like stressful or anything like that. So that's why I just love it. And you know, it's just giving that experience to people's first ever time holiday if they've never been abroad before, and like they go, oh, thank you so much, like you've given me the best time ever. It's just, you know, you feel like you've done something good in a weird way. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a fun show.
It is a fun show, and it is so great. You know what you're giving me? Dude, have you ever done Coach Trip? I feel like you
I love that show, though. That one, I've always watched that. Brendan, I love Brendan.
You're like the Brendan of Weekender.
No way. I'm not the Brendan. David's the Brendan. David's definitely the Brendan.
Yeah, fair enough. David may be the Brendan.
I'm the best driver.
I just meant with your staying power, that's all. Like, and it's something to be proud of, mate. Like, it's an amazing thing that the show's been going this long and it's still popular. There's still that appetite for it. And, you know, I know we're joking, but the fact that they keep having you back, Jordan, it just shows like you're great entertainment and you are an imperative part of that show. I don't think it'd be the same without you, mate.
Well, it's not. It's because I think in total, I worked it out the other night. There's been like 36 reps in total that have come and gone on the show. But I'm like the only one who's done every single series, even the one where we did the spin-off boat party one in Croatia. It's like, but I don't know what it is, because for me, I see myself as someone normal. Like, I got scouted for the show on Magaluf Strip. So I was literally working on the strip and they went, look, we like you. Do you want to do the show? So I never really ever wanted to be on TV, and it just kind of fell into my lap. And every series, I just don't know why they kept me, but yeah, it's strange. It's obviously, I appreciate it so much because, you know, ITV, they can be quite brutal with getting rid of people and stuff. But yeah, I don't know what it is. It's something I've obviously got that they like, or I don't know, they just probably think, all right, he's an idiot, he'll do what we say, so let's get him on it again.
You're being seriously self-deprecating. You're obviously, like, you're great at what you do and everybody obviously loves you. I think it's mad hearing that that's how you got found. What were you doing? What were you working as in Magaluf? Which bar? Because I did a couple of seasons there as well.
So I was working at the Free Lines karaoke bar. So
of course you were.
That, yeah. But
a Welshman in the Free Lines.
It doesn't really make sense, does it? But yes, I was just working on the strip, and then there was like a group of 30 people came towards my bar, and I was like, it's a bit weird. So I helped got them in, and then they just filled my terrace with one drink each, and they were just staring at me. And I went to the guys working me. I was like, are they like some weird like swingers association? Because, you know, there's men, women, and all just staring at me. And then after an hour, the guy gets up, shakes my hand, and he's like, oh, by the way, I'm a producer for this brand new show we're starting in Magaluf. It's called the Magaluf Weekender. Would you want to start? Would you want to be a part in it? And I went, well, I don't believe you. He was like, well, here's a contract. If you want to do it, let me know. And I went there. It's got 2 bottles of Sambuca. I went, if all of you do a shot, I'll sign it. So literally, from that point, I went, right, quit your job. You start filming in 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, I was in a hotel filming a rap show. So, yeah, completely random.
2 weeks later, he's Mr. Magaluf.
Yeah, but it was just so bizarre, because I was like, then, because obviously being a worker, then going out with all the cameras in your face, obviously on the way to like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, obviously when we started the show, like, we didn't know if it was ever going to take off, because, you know, there's so many, well, back then there was obviously really only, well, Geordie Shore, Towie, Made in Chelsea, and obviously we were starting out really, so, you know, it's just a show that we didn't ever know if it was going to do well, and it has, and, you know, 10 series in now, decade down the line.
That's nothing to be sniffed at, that, you know. Like, it's so hard to get shows recommissioned these days, and yeah. TV is such a brutal space. And God, if you're going back 10 years ago, the way we consume content now is so different. Like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, all this, like even podcasts, you know, like people consume content differently. And the fact that you're still making it, people are still watching it, mate, it's a true testament to the format. Yeah. And you guys, it's such a good show. Yeah. Did I ever, I feel like I must have told you how I got found for Geordie Show.
No, tell us again, though. Tell us again. Come on.
No, did I tell you? Because I'm not boring you, Jordan.
No, I don't think you have, you know.
Okay, you're being too polite. You're like, I fucking heard this a million times.
I genuinely don't think I have. I don't think I have at all.
So same vibes, right? Like, I was working in Newcastle at the time in bars and nightclubs. And like, I'd gone to uni, got this degree, thought I was going to be like the UK's answer to Carrie Bradshaw, thought I was going to like move to Manchester and wear tutus and write about relationships, because I did like drama, media and cultural studies and journalism and stuff at uni. Anyway, I just ended up moving back with my man and dad because I was skint. And like going out with an ex-boyfriend who was such a knob, and like just knocking about with all my old mates and thinking I was William Large Penis in town again, you know. Or I've lived in Liverpool and now I'm back, like, you know, typical early 20s attitude and stuff. And so I was the door whore. If your name wasn't on the list, you weren't getting it.
I've never heard that.
Have you not? Oh my God. Well, I made the mistake once of saying, I said, oh, you know, I was on the door, which is what I used to say. And I said it once in an interview now, right? And the fucking journalist wrote it up as that I used to work the doors, which is like a bouncer.
Bouncer, yeah.
So now everyone who's like read me Wikipedia goes to us and says, oh, yeah, you used to be a door woman. And I'm like, no, I didn't used to be a fucking door woman. I'm 5'6". So yeah, I was I've taken to clarifying. I was the hostess, should we say, for a nicer way of putting it. Anyway, did it for ages, absolutely loved it. I think I got a little bit drunk on the power, if I'm honest. I was such a bitch. And then one night, all these, like you say, like producers came in, but I didn't know. And like they weren't really drinking, they were like looking around and sort of, they were just in my little VIP area and they were like being like eagle-eyed on everybody. And I was like, what the fuck? These people are odd. Like normally in Newcastle, everyone's just having the best time. So I found it bizarre. But anyway, they come up to us, same to you, and they were like, we are trying to cast a new show for MTV called Geordie Show. And obviously Jersey Shore was out. It was massive. Like I knew exactly sort of what they were looking for. And they were like, can you help? And I was like, absolutely, yeah. And I sort of became like the unofficial tour guide.
Oh.
So I got them in all my little VIP rooms, you know, all the big student nights, all whatever. And also they'd be like, oh, what's he like? And I'd be like, he talks a good game, but he can't pull a muscle. Like, you know, I'd be like, what about her? And I'd be like, she'll be Clash against or like a granny on ice skates. You know, I was sort of trying to give them the inside scoop on everyone. And they did ask, this is a do you fancy auditioning? And at the time, like Towie was out and I don't know, I didn't think it was for me, you know, because I wasn't really glam and put together and a girly girl. We were feral, me and my mate. So I was like, oh, this isn't for me, but like I'll absolutely help. And we had a lovely time, like going out and stuff. Anyway, one night, I was out all my mates and like 20 strong Geordie lasses, like proper. Yeah. Just boiled into this nightclub, and one of the producers was just standing on his own, like dancing a bit at a bar with a drink on his own. And I was like, I went over and I went, are you out on your own? And he was like, no, obviously I'm working. I was like, but everybody else, it just looks like you're out on your own, mate. I said, come and stand with us. We'll have a good night. So we did. We had the best night ever, Jordan, like drinking, dancing, like in the DJ box, like just acting like we fucking owned the place, which like you do when you're 20 odd, don't you? And I was telling them this story and I was showing off, like full disclosure, because this man was like in TV and from London or wherever, which seemed impossibly cosmopolitan to me. Yeah. And I was just chatting and blah, 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 blah. And I was telling this story, my hands were going everywhere. I'm so animated. And I knocked over this drink on this girl. And I swear, I just knocked it. It wasn't on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And she just fucking stood up and started kicking off. And she was like, you've just fucking thrown your drink on me. Who do you think you are? And I was like, oh my God, I've been trying to show off for this man and I've made such a huge mess. So I was like, listen, I'm so sorry, lass. Like, I didn't mean to. I knocked it with my arms and blah, blah. And all my pals are like, are you going to let her talk to you like that? Because back in the day, we were a bit wild. And I was like, lasses, will you shut up? I'm trying to make like a good impression on this bloke. Anyway, I was like, come on, we'll go. Because this girl wasn't calming down. A couple of our friends were standing up and I thought, oh God, it's all going to kick off. And the bloke like desperately wanted to leave as well. He was not used to confrontation, quite clearly. So he was like, come on. We'll just go. I was like, that's it. We'll go somewhere else. It'll be fine. Anyway, I turned to walk away and she went, that's right. Walk away, you slag.
No.
She did. So I just thought, and then my mates were like, you can't let her get away with that. And I was like, you're quite right. I really can't. So I turned around feeling like my honour had absolutely been compromised and just was like, listen, I didn't throw a fucking drink at you. It was an accident, because if I'd thrown a drink at you, I would have done this. And I took a drink out of her hand and I threw it in her face.
No.
It was horrible, John. Obviously, I do not condone this behaviour now. I was young, naive, misguided anger. Anyway, and then I just went, run! And we all had to peg it out of the fire exit because she was chasing her, our mates were chasing her, the doormen were chasing her, like everybody was like, get them. So we ran all as far as we could in my heels and my tiny skirts and everything else. And then we jumped in taxis and went to Powerhouse, which I don't know if you've ever been, but it's this unreal gay club in Newcastle. Like, it's open till like 6 o'clock in the morning. Everyone's just having a sick vibe. So good. So we're all in there. Like, everyone's got the pink cowboy hats on, their whistles. We're doing shots, like glow sticks. It was just so good. And it was brilliant. And this producer's like, mortal, Jordan. Like,
Is
by
he still
this
there?
point, he's still there.
Oh, still there?
Absolute
Wow.
legend. He loved it. He loved the crack. Anyways, there, and like I looked at him at one point, and I knew he had work the next day, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get him home. So me and my pals like pretty much slung him over our shoulder and carried him to the jury's inn where he was staying and propped him in his room. And he turned to us and he went, Vicky, don't audition, don't meet the execs. He went, just be on the fucking show. And I was like, if you still feel that way in the morning, give us a ring, mate. Because I thought he's seen as at me worst now. Like, I know he doesn't want me to be like talking about vajazzles in like a beautician's. I know he wants somebody a bit wild, and if that's what you want, then that's what I am. And the rest is history, Jordan.
I can't believe he was. Did he run out the fire exit with you as well? No way.
Yeah, he shall remain nameless. All I will say is we called him Dragon Nostrils because he had very big nostrils. But I'm not going to say his real name.
What a nickname. What a nickname.
You love that being Welsh, do you not?
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I've never heard that either. Dragon Nostrils. That's crazy. What a story. What a story.
But haven't we come so far, Jordan?
Yeah, that's just I didn't expect that. It was built that just insane. I can't believe it was still there. And yeah, because it's like you said, when people are drunk and they go, oh yeah, it's like when you get drunk with your mates and you go, right, you know, let's go on, we're going on Ibiza next month for 2 weeks, and it's like the next morning you don't say anything about it. It's like, you know, you plan those holidays, and then you're like, right, no one's ever going to mention that. But that's a crazy story. But unless he stuck to his word, and you know, I bet he's so glad he took you. I bet he was like, wow. Like when they found you, I bet he was like, you must have got promotion, because to find you, I bet they're thinking, you've done us a good one there.
He must have thought, yeah, he probably did. He's probably doing like really high up somewhere, just thinking, thank God I met that crazy cow in that nightclub. Oh, Jordan, I'm so sorry. I feel like I've talked more than you have in part 1, and that's not how we do things here at Vicky Patterson's Secret 2. In part 2, I want to hear all about the new series, all about the old series, and all about your DJing. So will you join me?
Of course I will.
Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of Vicky Patterson's Secret 2. I have anxiety because of part 1.
Oh, it was brilliant. Loved it.
Did you like it? I'm so pleased you did. You're calming me down. You've got a very calming presence, Jordan. Actually, no, because I felt like I was so relaxed and just chatting to one of my mates, I told that story and I haven't told it in years. Oh, at least we know what the headline's going to be next weekend, don't we? Yeah, that's it. But Vicky Patterson, slag.
Yeah.
God. Right, so you've mentioned before you've done 10 series of Weekender.
Yep.
You've done them all over, haven't you?
Yeah.
So where have you done them?
So we started in Magaluf, and then we went to Ibiza, and then we did a spin-off boat party one in Croatia. Then we
Where in Croatia?
So we did islands. So we lived on a boat, and we did loads of island hopping. So we went to.
Do you go to Var?
Yeah, went to Var. Went to one that's like a really like romantic, lovely island. It's got like 3 letters. Can't remember the name of it, but it was. I went to like 5 different islands. But yeah, that was a bit different because we were living on a boat, and obviously it was just
like Rosie and Jim.
Yeah, but you know, the rooms were no bigger than, you know, I could hold the person's private part. If he was that close to me, if I wanted to, I could hold that. He was basically that close, but no. And yeah, it was just, but it was kind of awkward because they didn't really know what to do. We went to some islands and it's meant to be a big party, party boat show. And one island we landed on, there was only one bar and there was just restaurants. So these guests that had come for 2 nights, there was no music or anything. So it was a bit of a disaster because they were like, what the hell do we do? And luckily, because I was DJing, I went, oh, look, you know, just get some decks from different islands and I'll just do DJing. So luckily, touch wood, that turned out okay. But it was fun. And then, yeah, now we've ended up in Kavos for the latest series. So, yeah, that's always different again.
Yeah, is Kavos having a bit of a resurgence, Jordan? Because I remember Kavos was like the place to be when I was just that little bit too young to go on holiday without my mum and dad. Like when I was about 14, 15, I remember like the older people at school were doing Kavos and I was thinking, God, they're so cool. And then like Malia took over and Zanti and all that. And I didn't know Kavos has come back around. Is it back, is it?
I think it's just started getting there. So last season, last summer when we filmed, it was just picking up again. But yeah, because I did a residency there, DJ, and obviously they've rebooked me for this year again. So it's coming back, but it is more younger crowd. So I'd say if you're like, 18 to 21, that's
Was that
more
your subtle way of telling me not to go?
You can go if you want. You're more than welcome to come watch me DJ, Vicky. But bring your earplugs because you might not like it.
No, I will. I honestly, I act like I'm so old and not cool, but I bet y'all love your music. What do you play? Do you play any Girls Aloud?
I can do if you want, but it's more like house funky. So it's all like your 80s, 90s stuff with like modern twist on it. So it's always vocal stuff because it's always vocal stuff. But it'd be like songs that you'll remember. That you'll be like, oh my god, I love this one, but it's got like a modern beat on it. You'll be like, oh my god, like this is like kind of new version, but it's more dancey. So you'll know all the words, but you can dance more harder to it. So yeah, it's really cool stuff like that, like Careless Whispers, songs like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's really good. It's a bit different because people don't know what to expect. But I always play like stuff that's because if the girls are happy, the boys are happy. Do you know what I mean? If the girls on the dance floor partying, then the boys are happy because that's how I work.
Something nice to look at.
But it's fun. It's different, and like I said, it's nice. Just from back in the day when you do meet and greets. When you go to a club, stand there, do photos. When I'm DJing, I see people dancing, having a good time, and for me, what I love is the DM the next day going, oh my god, what song was this when they sent me a record? I'm like, wow. So I'm showing them something new. But for me, I love it because it's like seeing people happy dancing, and people that message me going, oh my god, like I hooked up with this girl last night. I really like her, thanks to you and stuff like that. So for me, things like that is what I love because I'm like, if they get married in 8 years, that probably won't. Might be one that thing, but for me, it's nice to know that I'm kind of giving something more than just having a photo with me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but it makes perfect sense. And actually, like, so back in the day when I was doing PAs and all that, like it was just you stand there and somebody comes over and you take a picture and it is all very, I suppose, quite tame and quite uniform. Not that our PAs were ever tame, but in that sense, you know what I mean? But then I went to Australia once. Well, I went a couple of times. I know. And like the show was massive out there. I think it's because it was shown on. So you know how Towie's shown on like a sort of Freeview channel.
Yeah, it's on MTV's huge there, isn't it?
Yeah, MTV was part of a TV package out there. Like you could get it free essentially. So we had the same reach as Towie did, rather than being a pay-for channel. Anyway, so we were massive, and I think we're lucky enough to do loads of amazing tours out there. But they want more from their PAs. Like they don't just want. If they're going to book a tour, they want more than just a person standing there and like saying hello and taking a picture. So my agent at the time, who I believe you know,
he's still my agent. He's still my agent. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, he tried to reinvent me as a DJ.
No.
Jordan, it was awful. Like, I don't know if you've gauged from our brief interaction about music here. I know fucking nothing about music at all. Like I'm so terrible. And like on top of that, like I'm not even like a good actress, like you see some lasses where they're just like lashing their iPod and they go for it and they look so sexy and behind the decks. Mate, it was horrific. I just used to like cling to a pair of headphones and like every so often press a button and just stare down at the decks. It was so horrible. So horrible. And I remember Scotty T one night actually went, right? Because he was the MC, obviously.
Of course.
Oh my God. This story gets worse and more embarrassing for me. Anyway, he actually went, go and get a big round of applause for Vicky, who really tried.
No. Wow.
It was so muggy. And I remember afterwards thinking, I fucking hate you. Yeah. Oh, babe, it was honestly so terrible. But you clearly have found a real passion for music and like a sort of, you're mixing and everything, aren't you, babe? It's not just a case of like you plug your iPod in and you hope for the best.
Oh, yeah, that's why I think a lot of venues, when they book me, they just think, oh, we'll book Jordan because, he's on TV and, he might, just because I just take my USB, plug it in, and press play. But that's why even like the clubs, like when they book, they're like, okay, we didn't actually realize you were going to do it properly, and it's like, well, yeah, because I'm not just like a reality TV star just trying to make a bit of extra cash on the side.
Yeah,
that's why because last year I was in Kavos every Sunday, I was in Magaluf every Monday, and then I covered Tom Zanetti for one night in Zante, and that was like a big night, and also I did that. And now this year I've got a residency in Zante again, so I've got Bulgaria every Wednesday as well. So it's
Jordan,
like,
I really want to come and see you DJ. Like, I know I'm getting carried away, but like, I really want to come. Where would I stand out least? Like, where would I least look like an old woman, like somebody's ma? Where would I least look like that? You're laughing. You don't know. You're gonna look like people's mums everywhere.
The thing is, when we go abroad, you don't really care. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's having a good time.
Oh, is it amazing? Does Izzy come all the time as well?
No,
I've never been a performer.
Well, last time I did a lot of it on my own, just because there was a lot of like back and forth. So it's a lot of. It sounds a lot of fun, but it's a lot of time I'm just sat in airports, just
a lot of traveling. Yeah,
but it's it is good fun. It is you spend because it's like we booked for 12 weeks solid, so you're away 4 nights a week, so it's good fun, and every week's different. So when you're abroad, like every week you've got new holiday makers coming out, so every crowd's different, and when people do go abroad, they get a lot wilder anyway. Well, probably not as wild as Newcastle, but they're still wild because it's a lot of them. It's their first time away. Some of them might not have been to a nightclub, so it's just brilliant. And like you said, when you get to know all the Greek owners and all that stuff like that, because they end up loving you. They treat you really well there. Like I get driven around all these restaurants I get taken to, so they look after me amazingly. And like I said, it's Kavos Sundays, Malia Mondays, Sante Tuesdays, Bulgaria Wednesdays. So
oh my God,
a lot of flights. Lot of flights. My passport's getting stamped left, right, and centre. So people. Sometimes at the airports they do look at me thinking, this guy's a bit dodgy. Why is he flying in for one night and flying out? And I'm like, no, I promise you. And I might have to show the flyers to the airport security because they're like, hang on a minute, you're going in one night, you're here 1 week, then you're over there. I'm like, no, I promise you, I am a DJ. Look at the flyer. I'm not a drug dealer, I promise you.
You're going to handle everyone in Bulgaria thinking you're a drug mule.
I know, because that's what they're thinking, because they're like, he's in and out constantly. He comes with a little hand luggage. Like, this is a bit dodgy. But I'm like, no, I promise you. But yeah.
Oh God! Well, I definitely want to come see you this summer. And for anyone else who's a big fan of yours, you've already told them where you're going to be, but just give them a little recap. It's Malia Mondays. It's
Kavos Sundays.
Malia Mondays.
Kavos Sundays. Malia Mondays at Zigzag. Yeah. Tuesdays going to be at Pure Beach and Cherry Bay on Tuesdays. And then Wednesday...
Is Cherry Bay still there, Jordan?
Still going strong. Yes, it's still there.
I went to Zante twice when I was 21, the summer, and it was the best time of my life. And I swear we spent most nights in Cherry Bay.
Well, there you go. So you know what to expect.
Yeah, babe, honestly, I'm feeling so nostalgic right now. Yeah. Okay, so I interrupted you before when you were telling me about all the different places where you've done like Weekender. And I wanted to know, if it's probably a hard one to ask, but where's been your favourite overall?
Oh, see, for me... Ibiza because it's unbelievable. But for me, Magaluf where it all started, because for me that was when it was a lot more raw. Like the show was very just like almost like Big Brother style, completely. Where it was like they just put cameras in the hotel. They were like, right, just crack on and do your thing. And it was kind of the unknown.
It was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like because even when the first series started, if you weren't out with the guests, they were like, right, just go out and do what you want. So, like, as well, with most shows, you're not allowed to go and leave at all. So they were like, yeah, go off, do your own thing as long as you're back at 4 a.m. But for me,
the Wild West.
Yeah, but Magaluf will always be where the show started, where it all began. So, yeah, I don't know. Magaluf for me was my favourite out of all the places we've been. Although you wouldn't expect that. But yeah, Ibiza's obviously Ibiza, but I just loved it in Maga. I don't know why.
Honestly, mate, everyone looks down their nose at Magaluf, and I absolutely love it still.
I mean... It's like I'm 30, I'll go there now.
35. Oh, God. I did 2 seasons there when I was younger, and, went back with Geordie Shaw, went back and did PAs, obviously bumping into you and stuff like that, and all sorts. And I always have such a great time. Yeah. Such a great time. Actually, Ercan got sacked once because he was came to Magaluf with me. I think it was that time you met with.
Really?
So he ran out of holiday from work, and, honestly... Because his lifestyle became very different when he left when he met me, He'd gone from a week in Marbella with the lads in the summer to me being like, oh, do you fancy coming to Magaluf for a couple of nights, or do you fancy doing this shoot so and so? It was different, and his holidays quickly ran out, so he just came and rang in sick to his boss.
No.
And then we got papped at Nikki Beach.
Oh dear. Oh, dear.
And his boss rang him and he got the international dial tone. So yeah, when he went home, I think he got the sack.
look where you are now. Imagine if you hadn't done that. He's sacrificed it, and now you're engaged and everything. So it's like
yeah.
crazy,
Oh,
crazy.
everything happens for a reason, babe, doesn't it?
Exactly, it does. Yes.
So I know that it's you and David now.
Yeah.
Are you really close? He's so funny. I can't cope.
Yeah. Do you know what with David? He's just one of these guys that no matter what he does, he's just funny. He's just always funny. And the thing is, boys love him, girls love him, and he's just a brilliant guy. Like, if you're around him, he just puts you in a good mood. And yeah, he's one in a million, David. Like, whoever found him and casted him, just amazing. But I think he might have actually go through.
Might have been dragon nostrils. He's quite good at finding gold.
but yeah, he's just one of these guys that he also makes the show, because he's a lot different to me. Like, we both bring a different kind of element back, because I'm obviously brilliant with like the lad reps and stuff like that, but he's obviously brilliant with the girl reps. But boy and girl guests love him. Girl and boy guests, like, they love me. But it's just he makes the show as well. It wouldn't be the same about me and David. I love to wind him up, and he loves to wind me up. So it's just like almost like yin and yang. Like, we're just so different that we just work. Like, you wouldn't put me and David together usually. Like, we just work. It's crazy.
You're being very diplomatic, and it's obvious you've got a great relationship. But if I had a gun to your head, who would you say is the best rep?
Oh, me, hands down, me. I would easily me. Like, the thing is, if you
Jordan woke up today and chose violence.
No, for me, I think obviously David's loud, he's energetic, so am I. But I think when David first started, I was obviously an experienced rep on it, and I kind of, he'll never admit it, but I feel like I taught him a lot. Do you know what I mean? I kind of, and I gave him the opportunity to be head rep. So yeah, I'll take full credit that David's learned from me. So it wasn't for me, David would be out for refuge. He would have been back.
David would be nothing without me.
No, David's brilliant, but I'd like, if it was a battle, I think I'd take the crown for best rep all rounder.
So sort of if the Weekender met Hunger Games, you would definitely prevail. Is that what you're saying?
That is, what a concept. ITV, sign that up. You could be the host, Vicky.
Yeah, 110%. I'm copywriting it right now, mate. Out of all the years you've done it, and all the like fantastic reps you've met and worked with, and all the lovely guests you've had, has anybody really stuck out to you, a guest or rep, as like someone like as a really good mate, or somebody who's like you're particularly fond of?
Well, obviously, the weird thing I find is like without Weekender, I wouldn't have met Isabel, because
I know that's so. I mean, you forget that, don't you? Because I just feel like you guys are so perfect and so lovely together. You forget you met in quite like a manic way.
Yeah. So and the thing with our Weekender show as well, because you kind of, back then you had to be single. So it's not like Love Island where, you could just get together and stay together and you'll last to the end. With Weekender, because we had to be single as reps, it made it really hard because, girls would come in, I kind of had to flirt with them even though I wanted to be with Isabel. So it was a really tough environment for us to kind of make it through. And because we made it through that, I think it was just brilliant. I think, I look back now and obviously I think if I hadn't have done Weekend in that series, or she hadn't got cast for it, I might not even be with her now. I might not be living in the middle of the country. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, we met through the show and I think it was brilliant. But for me as well, rep-wise, Dino as well. Like, Dino was one of the boys on it.
Dino came to my mind as well when you I asked that question.
Yeah, I had a great relationship with Dino, and I still speak to him now and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just, with the show, it's like a lot of reps come and go, but I think one of the ones that I'd be for when it was me, Callum, Tash, Chloe, that one was really, that we all became really close as a group, I think, because I think that one was just a weird thing where all of us really, really gelled, although amidst the drama. But I think with this most recent series, Kavos, I really get along with the boys, like Joel, Tyre, and Ethan. Like, I really, really get along with them and stuff like that, which is, it's nice. And I think, it's a show that when reps come on, I will always try and help them as much as I can, because I always want people to do as well as I have. But, ITV, they'll pick who they want, they'll get rid of who they want. So I can only try and give as much advice as I can. And obviously, I think me going on to this Kavos one a little bit later, I think I tried to, ITV said I'd help bring the boys out of the shell, because I've kind of said that, the more cool you try and look on this show, the less it's going to be. The more silly, fun, stupid. It's not Love Island, it's Weekender, we're reps, we don't take ourselves seriously. Be an idiot, have a laugh, and they'll love you. And I think that's what I'm kind of trying to help the boys in that sense, because, yeah, it's that type of show where, it's all about being silly. not serious.
You've grown so much. You're like now like a reality TV mentor.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but I'll try and help as much as I can. But some of my tips might not be useful, but yeah.
No, but it's really sweet. Like, I often feel like, you know, when people come out of Love Island and stuff, like, I don't think I could have, you know, and all of these shows for that matter, I'm not just talking about, but I don't feel like I would have dealt very well with such a huge amount of exposure and eyes on me and stuff. The way our fame, if you want to call it that, it built slowly from Geordie Shore, you know, series by series, it grew in the same way yours did with Weekender, you know. It was gradual. It wasn't just like, wow, millions and millions of eyes on me overnight. So I always try, if and you know, whenever I meet them at events or whenever I chat to them on the podcast, I always offer my advice and help any like Love Island people. And God, they might not want it. They might think, who's this fucking weird old cow? Which is absolutely fine. But I just think it's so nice to be nice. And we've been there, haven't we, Jordan? Like, I remember feeling like I didn't really have the tools to navigate that space I was in when I first went on telly. Did you?
No, because I think when I started Weekend, I think Instagram was only just starting. That's how crazy that is. And it's like, and you know, you just don't know. And it was like, you know, it's like because of like TikTok and everything now, it was a lot harder for us because we didn't have these huge platforms where you can grow massively. It was like, you know, it was, you know,
and monetize as well.
And so it's like, you know, and like you said, it's just completely different now. But yeah, it's to, you know, to credit to yourself as well. You know, to be going strong still after all these years, it's insane because it's a tough industry. And I think like when people go on TV, I say, don't expect it to change your life because it's very few that get lucky. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such a brutal industry. People think it's so easy. They think, oh, you've been on TV, you're a millionaire overnight. It's like it's not how it happens. It's, you know, it's crazy. It's not. It's if you want to go in and change your life, don't do it. But if you want to do it for a bit of fun and you might get something out of it, then do it. I'd say.
And I think that's what is special about you, Jordan. And I think that's what's pretty obvious, you know, is like you did do this because you thought it sounded like fun. And you have always been really true to yourself. And I think that's what like leaps off the telly is you're not trying to be anybody. You're not trying to act like someone who you've seen on telly before and knew has done well. You're just being you and you're having a really lovely time and you're grateful to be there. And that's what people find lovely to watch.
Yeah, and I think that's the best advice you can give is just be yourself, because if you try and be, if you watch a show and think, oh, I want to be the next Gaz of Geordie Shore, I want to be, you know, the next, you know, winner of Love Island or something like that, you copy them, you've always just got to be yourself, because people will read it, they'll read through it, you know, and they will see that, you know, this persona you try and put on, you're not going to be yourself. And it's like, even yourself, like, you know, you're lovely to everyone, like, you know, you've always been real, like, you know, and it's just, it does show, and it's like, you know, and it's credit to you as well, because like I said, like Isabel, so my partner, you know, you were the nicest, well, probably the nicest female reality star she's ever met. And that was when I don't think it'd even been on telly at that point. And it's like, you always give time for everyone, and it does go to show. It does go.
Oh, Jordan, you're so nice. It's been so lovely to catch up with you today. It's been too long, mate. I'm actually going to message you, you know, and I'm going to try and get something booked in for this summer. Where we
get Eric to cancel work again. Get him to call in sick. Come on, Eric. Call in sick.
He's a fucking international man of leisure now, that bastard. Don't worry about him. If we write to the HR department, it's just my sister. Right. Before I let you go, here at Vicky and Ercan Secret too, we always ask our gorgeous guests to give our lovely listeners a couple of pearls of wisdom. And without blowing too much smoke up your ass, you are 10 years going strong in an industry that is notoriously fickle, in a space like reality TV that is constantly just in search of the next best thing, the next good-looking person, the next young, hot person, whatever it is. But you've proved to have not only real popularity with viewers, but real staying power. And I think time after time, you know, whether ITV wanted you back from the get-go or they didn't, that you have proved that they needed you. And I think everybody was probably thinking to themselves as well, I wonder what his secret is to being irreplaceable. And I would like to know what your secret is.
So thank you very much for that, Vicky. But I would say the secret to being irreplaceable is just be yourself. Don't try and be something you're not. Just, you know, because people will read it, and yeah, just have fun, be yourself, and don't try and be someone you're not. That's what I'd say is the secret.
And you know what? I absolutely love that, because whatever walk of life you're in, Jordan, like whether you're working in a school, whether you're working in a hospital, whether you're working in an office, like you just need to be true to yourself. You need to like do your best. And you know, every time I've met you and every time I've worked with you, whether it's in like X on the Beach, a shoot, whatever, you are excited to be there, you're polite, you're on time, you know, get to know people's names. Like, I just feel like all of those little things that you probably wouldn't like say yourself that you do. And I think they go a long way. And I think that's what people in any industry can learn from you.
Well, and you, Vicky, you're exactly the same as me, but manners cost nothing today. Do you know what I mean? Manners cost absolutely nothing.
Manners cost.
And people talk.
They do. You're not from Newcastle, and probably loads of me listeners aren't, so they won't get this, but Manners was a stop on the metro station. It was just before town, and my best mate always used to say, Manners is not just a metro station. And I've always remembered it. But yeah, if there's any Geordie people listening, you'll get it. If not, sorry everybody. You've been Jordan Davies, I've been Vicky Patterson, and haven't we had a lovely time?
Oh, it's been stunning. Absolutely loved it.
Give me best to Izzy. Tell her I can't wait to see her this summer. I'll be the one with the fucking shit moves.
I'll tell you what though, Vicky, you've got enough clothes behind you, so I don't think you'll be worried about packing coming away this summer. Look at it.
Oh, I'll just be wearing like a Kevin and Perry tracksuit and a bucket hat. Me, is that what people are doing now in Kavos? You're my style icon.
We'll have it large.
All right, Kev. Yeah, no, that's good.